Hello and welcome. I'm getting the Swedish meatballs. Hello. These are 7 things that I've learned in college. Lesson 1. So the first thing that I want to talk about when you start college is making friends. That sounds super easy, right? Like in the books, in the TV shows, fictional world, they basically tell you, oh, it's so easy to make friends. Wrong. Wrong. Friends are an intention, not a given. You can start off by asking, hey, do you want to grab coffee with me sometime or grab lunch? And your classmate is probably going to be like, yeah, for sure. And bam, you just made a friend, or at the very least, an acquaintance, and you can grow from that. Between study groups, clubs, recreational sports teams, and just hanging out with your classmates is a very good way to actually make friends in college. Lesson 2. You're paying for everything in your college career, so utilize it. That's right, remember when you hit pay for cart and it was thousands of dollars when you paid your bill? So yeah, you're paying for that. You're paying for all of those resources, and those resources are only there to help your college career excel. I'm talking you're going to get access to, of course, your classes and your housing and your dining, depending on your plan, but that's also going to give you access to
your gym, your workshops, your university programs, the events, the specialty guest meetings and workshops to network with people within your field.
You're getting the biggest networking opportunity, and you're getting the facilities that you need to be where you need to be for your career. So utilize what the school has given you because they're only in place so that your college career can excel. And truly, if you're going to be spending that much money, you better use it, right? Yeah. Lesson 3. Just because it's all you can eat doesn't mean you need to. And I know I just said utilize all of your resources. That includes your dining, of course. But that does not mean that you need to eat everything at the all-you-can-eat buffet, because even though freshman 15 isn't a real thing, gaining weight in college is. Sometimes people aren't really taught when they're younger how much food they should be eating or what are the right food groups that they need to be eating. And so obviously don't judge people for that, but do be mindful of the food that you're putting into your body. Your body does not need 10 pieces of pizza every single day. Habits can really form in college into your adulthood, so you want to make sure that you're forming the right ones. If you know that you only have 5 days to eat on campus, bring that Tupperware in your bag and pack up for later, okay? You didn't hear that from me. I said nothing. Lesson 4. College parties are not it. Let me preface something. I am not a party girl. In fact, I only went out of curiosity because that is how the media shows parties. And what I was met with was subpar music, very, very hot room, a room full of people I didn't really know or care about, so therefore the environment just wasn't welcoming to me. I felt like I didn't need to be there, like I didn't belong. I'm not saying don't go to parties. What I will say is wherever you end up going, like an activity, a kickback, hang out, be mindful of the people you're going with because that's really what's going to make the party worth it. Yippee! Lesson 5. Find out where your classes are before you go to them. I'm not talking the morning of, I'm talking the day before. Because you don't know if there's going to be traffic, if there's going to be no parking, if it's going to be absolutely ridiculous once you get to campus. It is an absolute madhouse on the first day of campus, especially if you don't know it very well. So I would highly recommend checking out where your classes are, what building they are, and what room. Because sometimes you might be in the same building, but you might be on the opposite sides of the building. Sometimes you might be in different building, and those buildings are on 2 different sides of the campus, so you gotta figure out the commute, the route, everything about it. Professors will usually be lenient on the first day if you're late, but it's still kind of awkward to walk in on the first day and you're late and everybody's watching you. You know the stare. If you don't know the stare, that's good, but you'll know the stare. You'll know the stare. Lesson 6. Take the W. And no, I don't mean the win. I mean the withdrawal. That's right, I said withdrawal. Withdrawal. Honey boo boo, let me keep it real with you. All right, colleges will give you 1, maybe 2 weeks to figure out if you want to drop the class before it ends up on your record. And sometimes that's not enough time to figure out if you're cooked or not. All right, I've had many classes where I'm like, okay, the second week we're chilling. The fourth week, I'm ready to leave. So, what happens if you find out that you're cooked after the drop date? Well, you've got 3 options. Option A, you can tough it out and get whatever grade you get in that class. Option B, you can fail. And lastly, option C, you can take the W and withdraw from the class. You use option C when you are failing or you're on the verge of failing and you don't think you're going to make it back from the class. You want to use these W's sparingly, because while you can take a W, if you want to do future schooling like a master's degree, law, or being a doctor, you need to be mindful of how many W's you're taking. But I will say, a W still looks better than an F, because a W does not count towards your GPA. Lesson 7. The degree is paper. What really matters is the experience. And I know that sounds super cheesy, but it's true. When you're applying for jobs, they're not going to ask you, oh, can we see your degree? No, they're going to ask, what did you do? How did your work ethic go? The experiences are what truly matter when you're in college. At least for me, that's all I really think about. I think about the projects that I did, the people that I was able to meet, and all of the networking that I was able to do through my experiences. This didn't always happen through class. If you want to be able to really land a job outside of college and really make the most of your tuition, you need to work through the experiences. Because again, at the end of the day, they're not looking at that piece of paper. So enjoy your college. Enjoy the people you get to meet, the projects you get to join, the clubs you can experience. It is all the more worth it than just pushing through and not paying attention to what life has for you. And that, my friends, is 7 lessons that I've learned in college. Thank you so much for sticking around, and I hope to see you in the next video. I'm kind of like low-key burning. So I'm gonna get out the sun, and we're gonna be done with filming today because I need to eat. I haven't eaten anything, and it's 1 p.m. and I've been up since 9 a.m.